In July 2024, NASA's Perseverance rover was rolling through an ancient dried-up river valley on Mars when it found a rock, and that rock had spots on it, small black and white markings scattered across its surface in a pattern that stopped the science team cold. Because on Earth, that pattern has one primary known cause: life. The rock was named Cheyava Falls, and on the 10th of September 2025, after a full year of the most careful analysis the team could perform remotely from 140 million miles away, NASA published its findings in the journal Nature and called what they found a potential biosignature, the strongest candidate for evidence of ancient life ever detected on another planet. So what does that actually mean? Because headlines said NASA finds life on Mars, and other headlines said this is nothing, and both of those are wrong. So let's go through exactly what was found, what it tells us, and why the honest answer is more extraordinary than either version. Cheyava Falls sits in a formation called Bright Angel on the edge of Neretva Vallis, an ancient river valley that once carried water rushing into Jezero Crater billions of years ago, when Mars was a warmer, wetter world, before something stripped away its atmosphere and left the frozen desert we see today. The rock itself is about a meter long, reddish, veined with white calcium sulfate, and covered in those distinctive spots, millimeter-sized off-white splotches surrounded by black material, which the team nicknamed leopard spots. Inside those spots, Perseverance found organic carbon, the basic building blocks of life, iron, and phosphate minerals in combinations that on Earth are almost exclusively produced by microbial chemical reactions and textures that match what scientists call reaction fronts, the kind of chemical interface that forms when microbes extract energy from rock. None of those things alone confirms life, but together, in the same rock, in an ancient water-carved environment, the team searched hard for a non-biological explanation and could not find one strong enough to dismiss what they were seeing. NASA uses a 7-step scale called the Confidence of Life Detection Scale to assess discoveries like this, and Cheyava Falls sits at step 1, a possible signal. Not confirmed, not proven, but not dismissible either, and the reason that matters is context. Because before this rock, Mars had given us hints, organic molecules here, mineral traces there, but nothing where so many pieces lined up in the same place at the same time pointing in the same direction. Now here is why. This is genuinely one of the most important moments in the history of space exploration, even with all the uncertainty. If those leopard spots were made by microbial life, that life existed on Mars approximately 3.5 billion years ago, the same period when the earliest life was emerging on Earth, which would mean 2 planets in the same solar system independently developed life at roughly the same time. And that would tell us something extraordinary about how common life is across the universe, how readily it emerges when the conditions are right, and how many of the billions of planets we now know exist beyond our solar system might already be home to something living. If it turns out to be non-biological chemistry, that is still a remarkable finding. It means Mars was capable of producing complex organic mineral chemistry that mimics the signatures of life, which means we need to update how we search for life on other worlds and what we count as evidence. Either way, the answer changes things. The only way to know for certain is to bring the rock back to Earth, and Perseverance has already sealed a sample called Sapphire Canyon, drilled from Cheyava Falls, into one of its collection tubes, waiting for a future mission to retrieve it and bring it home for analysis in laboratories with instruments far more sensitive than anything that can be sent to Mars. And when that happens, it will be the first time in human history that a pristine piece of another planet has been studied in our own labs. That mission is still being planned, still navigating budget challenges, but the sample is there, sealed, waiting, sitting in a dried riverbed on a world 140 million miles away. And it may contain the answer to a question humans have been asking since we first looked up at the red light in the night sky and wondered whether we were alone. We are not there yet, and science demands patience, but we have never been closer. Subscribe, because next time we are covering what happens if the answer is yes, what confirmed life on Mars would mean for the search across the rest of the universe.